When we last saw the young team in Ultimate X-Men issue 6, a scorching day at the schoolyard escalated into an unexpected battle when the Shadow King brazenly appeared in broad daylight. Displeased that Hisako didn't fit into his twisted vision of her, the Shadow King attacked, leading Armor, Nico, and Maystorm to unite their strength and triumph. In Ultimate X-Men issue 7, we shift focus to Surge, Natsu, and Mori as they attend a meeting of the Children of the Atom, where their mysterious leader, Maester, declares that it's time for them to embrace their genetic superiority and celebrate their powers. Before we continue, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to stay updated with more comic book content like this and help support small content creators like me. Maester stresses the importance of mastering their abilities, warning that the end times are approaching and the world will inevitably look to them, the next phase of evolution, for salvation. Later, we see Surge in what seems to be a doctor's office, engaged in a conversation with a nurse who asks if she's been using her powers and whether she's experiencing any side effects from a recent experiment. As Surge prepares to leave, she tries to visit Shinobu Kageyama, the Shadow King, who remains in a comatose state, but the nurse stops her from entering. At the same time, Maester is seen in Shinobu's room, relishing his abilities. We discover that not only does Shinobu possess telepathy, but he also has the power to activate dormant abilities in others. Maester views Shinobu as a tool to help trigger mutant powers in more of his followers. When questioned about whether Hisako Ichiki, Mei Igarashi, and Nico Minoru could be awakened, Maester declares those lost sheep must be brought back to the fold. A figure named Viper enters, informing Maester that another death has occurred and urging him to regain control, warning that Emperor Sunfire, who has ties to the Makers Council, would not be pleased if this became public knowledge. Maester cautions Viper to be careful discussing these matters in the presence of others. Though Viper assumed Shinobu was fully unconscious, we soon learn that is not the case. Shinobu slowly turns his head toward them. In a faint whisper, he says softly, "Hisako, my Hisako." Terrified, Maester desperately pleads with Viper to intervene as Shinobu continues murmuring Hisako's name. Finally, Viper administers an injection that puts Shinobu back to sleep. She wonders aloud if he's subconsciously trying to reach out to Hisako Ichiki. Meanwhile, at Irodori High School, Mei and Hisako are discussing plans to attend a festival when they run into Cannon, also known as Psylocke, who unapologetically bumps into Hisako. Cannon, confident and rude, doesn't bother stopping to talk. While standing over a defeated opponent, it quickly becomes clear that Cannon is a highly skilled sword fighter, headstrong, athletic, and arrogant. Later, Cannon pays a visit to her police officer brother, nosily dropping by just to check in. Her curiosity pays off when her brother receives a report about a suspicious suitcase left by the river. Despite his objections, Cannon insists on tagging along as he investigates. Upon discovering the suitcase, her brother is sickened by the smell coming from it. When they open it, both are horrified to find it filled with dismembered body parts, including a limb marked with a familiar symbol tattooed on the skin. The following day, Viper visits Cannon's brother, informing him that he will be required to sign a non-disclosure agreement regarding the gruesome suitcase discovery. Later, to Cannon's shock, her brother informs her that she must pretend as if they never found the suitcase. That night, at the Jugoya Matsuri, a festival celebrated on the 15th night of autumn, where attendees gaze at the moon, Mei and Hisako gather with Nico, Natsu, and Mori. At first, Mei and Nico compliment each other's yukatas, but their attention is quickly drawn to an ominous, terrifying shadowy eye looming in the night sky, which undoubtedly has connections to the Shadow King.